WedCon is back and live in the UK once again. And if you have attended one of our previous events, you'll know that WedCon really is the UK's #1 event for wedding business owners of any age and size. After our last WedCon, we are more than ready to get back into that room with you, hanging out with like-minded people and building invaluable relationships and business connections. So let me tell you why WedCon this year is shaping up to be our best ever. This time round, WedCon is all about discovering how to grow and engage your audience, attract qualified leads, consistently increase your monthly revenue, and boost your cash flow well into next year and beyond. Basically, over the day, you're going to learn the very best ways to grow your wedding business. And having started out and built my own multi-six-figure business, I realized that when it comes to building businesses, there are really a few things that stand head and shoulders above everything else in importance. And that is getting clients and customers, generating revenue and cash flow, growing your audience, and having a strong team and network around you. At WedCon this year, you're going to be learning from a whole host of speakers who are already successfully using different techniques to grow their audience, turn them into raving fans, and have multi-six-figure businesses. So if you're a planner, DJ, florist, celebrant, or work in any other area of the wedding business, you are going to want to be at our one-of-a-kind event. WedCon is going to be your home, and we can't wait to welcome you in November. For all the details on how you can secure a ticket and be in the room, head on over to the show notes and grab your ticket. We're really looking forward to seeing you on November the 15th in Kent. Hi, welcome back to this episode, and this is a good little topic that we're covering today, and it's the things that we notice in the six-figure businesses that we work with, that we speak to, that we network with, and the kind of traits that they have and the things that they are doing inside their business that hopefully you can replicate and put inside of your business too. And we wanted to share them with you, not just because six figures is the ultimate goal or anything like that, but wherever you are in your business, whatever success looks like to you, we wanted to give you the things that we spot that each and every one of these successful business people are doing inside their business. And that's what we wanted to talk to you today. And especially if you are looking to hit your first six figures inside your business, the things that you can be doing inside your business as well.
And closer and closer, aren't we, to the summer holidays?
I know. We probably need to do a little brainstorm next week, don't we, of like the things that we want in place prior to summer holiday madness.
Yes, definitely got to plan that one out. We hope you guys are all well as well. Those of you that are gearing up for working weddings and juggling kids and juggling life, we hope you're smashing
it. Keep on keeping on, everybody.
Keep on keeping on. Sometimes it can feel a little bit
especially this heat has not helped. We've both had like really bad hay fever for the first year, haven't we? And we've been struggling through with streaming eyes and really sore eyes, ears,
like little pinhole eyes.
And we're here with you. Yeah, let's dive in.
And I think actually this is number one, isn't it? Showing up. Keep on showing up all of the time. This is one of them things that you've got to be present and showing up in your business all of the time. Now, when I say that, this doesn't mean that you've got to be constantly on social media, you've got to be constantly in all the places all of the time, but it's about putting strategic plans in place, like scheduling your socials out in advance. If maybe you've got a wedding business podcast or wedding business blog, these are things that you can be planning out in advance to make it seem as though you're everywhere all at once, but you're not.
Yeah, and the thing that the six-figure businesses are doing, and the ones who are six figures and above, is they are showing up on social media
every day without fail. So Monday to Sunday, something is going out on their socials. And this was one of those things that helped us hit 6 figures in the first 12 months of running our bridal shop. Was we had a very strict social media schedule that we stuck to. And we actually posted 3 times a day, each and every single day. And this was pre-stories. So there wasn't stories available then, was there? It was just more Facebook. Most of our audience was on Facebook. Instagram wasn't such a big thing.
Now I feel old.
Yeah, that when we were doing a bridal shop kind of 6-7 years ago now. But we were showing up 3 times a day, each and every day, to Facebook alone. And I think it was probably at least once, maybe twice a day on Instagram when we started to do that. Plus we'd have a blog that would go out at least once a month.
And we would be inside of the wedding groups, offering advice to people. We were showing up, doing lives in there as well. And it just really does help build you up as that expert in your field.
Yeah, and I think it's about as well, just remembering big brands are still advertising. So, you know, we all know big brands, Coca-Cola, Skechers, Adidas, Ford, Tesla, but yet they are all advertising. They spend thousands and thousands of pounds on posters at bus stops, TV advertising, radio advertising, social media advertising. They're still, even though these are household names that we know, that are on the tip of our tongue, that we're all buying into this stuff, they are still investing money advertising in their business, so that when somebody is thinking they're thirsty at the till, the Coca-Cola bottle goes into their trolley and that's what they purchase. Or when they're thinking about a new car, the adverts that they're seeing on the TV is the ones that they'll go and test drive. And I think exactly, you hit the nail on the head there. It's about advertising and pushing more. It's about showing up every day. It doesn't mean you have to physically be doing it. Get on Business Suite, get on whatever you're scheduling your content onto. Come up with a social media plan, come up with a plan that is going to work. Because what we don't want you to do is sit and think, right, I need to be showing up every day, so I'm going to sit and schedule 3 months worth of content, which is how much you can schedule on Business Suite at one time, and then I'm not going to have to check in on it again. And you do, because you need to be knowing, is this working? So you need to be checking in on your insights, checking that you're posting at the right time, that your content is resonating, and then resharing more of that content. So somebody spoke to me last week and was like, oh, where can I schedule more than 3 months worth of content? I want to schedule like 6 months worth of content. And I was like, why would you want to schedule 6 months worth of content? Forget about it. And I was like, no, you can't forget about it. Your engagement will massively drop. You don't know the trends that are going to come up inside of the industry. It was somebody that worked in a different field. You don't know what you need to be reactive for, what you might
algorithm could change.
It might not be in good taste. I was like, definitely schedule a month, 2 months in advance. That's fine. And leave room for kind of posting on the fly as well. You can schedule stories now. You can schedule reels now. So these are things, once you've got yourself into a routine, it becomes much, much easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just comes second nature. And I think my biggest tip is, and this is something that I only learned recently really, is that when you're in that creative state of kind of planning your schedules out, is to, rather than planning it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, plan it out by the type of post. So if you're mapping out all your educational posts, create those posts first, so you know that on a Monday an educational post is going out, and create a month's worth of those, and then that's those done, and then move on to the next kind of post. So if you wanted to create some promo posts, create 4 of those and then schedule them out to go out on a Wednesday every single week. And that's a much better way to do it, because you're in that flow of ideas in that certain area, rather than flitting from, I've got to make a promo post and then I've got to go and find some educational content. If you do it in sections, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. The second thing that we find is that people are in their numbers. They're in their banking apps. They're looking at what's going out, and they are reviewing. I am constantly saying to Roxy, where can we go and save some money? Constantly.
I'm like, oh, eye roll.
Every pound you save in your business is worth at least £2 to you, because you're not having to go out and chase that money. So every pound that you are able to save is worth so much more than £1. So quite often I'll go and say, can we negotiate a better deal with some of the products that we're using? We've been using Zoom for a couple of years now. What discounts are out there now? Or can we go and approach Zoom and say, look, we love the product. What offer can you give us? We've been using you for a really long time. What things are we not using anymore? I think we paid for a really long time for kind of a timer app that would put a timer on our emails that we probably used once every 6 months, which would do like a little timer that would go down to say that an offer was ending. And I think we paid that on a monthly basis for about 2 years before we were like, how many times have we actually used this?
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that takes 3 minutes to delete off, and then we can always buy it if we need it anyway.
Yeah. And it's not just about what money can I save in my business, but it's also where is my money coming in? So, you know, what deposits are already in your account? What's late? Are we chasing up the late people? Do we have a process in place to do that inside of our business? You know, how much money is going to be in my bank, cash in the bank at the end of the month? Is that enough for me to cover? And it's not just about looking at what is coming in, it's also about what is going out as well. So, you know, revenue is vanity and profit is sanity. So if you're only looking at the revenue and thinking, oh my God, like this is amazing, I'm pulling in all of this money, you've got a hard shot coming to you, because you're not looking actually what the profit is on that. Are you even making any profit? Is there enough profit there? We like to split our banking, don't we, up?
We do, yeah.
We like to put a certain percentage away for VAT or tax. So at the end of the year that we know there is no nasty surprise coming. When our tax bill comes, each and every pound we make in our business, a portion of that money goes into another account that sits there. Roxy's looking at me scared right now. That sits there.
Funny, because the banking app just pinged me the notification. I was like, oh, it's the
money. Is that money? We're still talking about money. And it's about you having an eye on the numbers as well, so that you don't have any nasty shocks at the end of the year and you think, oh wow, I'm going to end this year on £40,000 profit, but then you get a bill for 11 grand. Can you afford that bill? The people who are successful in their business, and the very, very successful people that we've networked with and spoken with that are earning millions plus, are actually looking at the numbers
every day. And there is no excuse. Even if you have an accountant or someone that does this for you, it's still very important that you have your numbers. And it might be, and like me in the past, not been so like up on the numbers or know a lot about the financial side of business, but learn it, get to know it, and get comfortable in that money zone. Cash is king.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
Cash is king. Your accountant isn't going to care like if you're making money or not. That's not what they're there to do. They're there to make sure that your tax is paid at the end of the year, your tax return is filed, and that's what they're there to do on the base level. Take responsibility for this. Look into your accounts. Look at your accounts as often as possible. At least weekly. At least you want to be going in, making sure that everything looks okay. I'd say once a quarter, check. Are you using all the subscriptions you're paying for? Is there anything there that you could save some money inside your business? Could you go and negotiate some better rates with some suppliers that you're ordering from? Perhaps maybe you were on like a new rate where you had to order more, and now you've actually been with that supplier for 12 months. Maybe they could drop your minimum order down. What can you look at to save money as well? It's not just about making money inside your business. So the third thing that successful entrepreneurs and business people in the wedding industry are doing, the ones that are reaching 6 figures plus, is that they are following up with everybody. And quite often they've got a system to help them do that.
Really important, this one as well, because if you aren't currently doing this, you are missing out on a trick. And I know that we've briefly covered this in one of the previous podcasts that we did. Every time we have a conversation, a sales conversation, whether it's in our inbox, like DMs, whatever, we make a note of that person, where we have spoken to them from, so that then we can follow up in the event that they don't get back to us. And we have a huge list, don't we?
Yeah, and this can be the same for you, because people don't buy right now for loads of reasons, and it might not be a no for forever. It could just be a no for right now, or maybe they haven't even told you no yet. And the successful people are following up. They've got a system to follow up, maybe 2-3 times before they close the lead off, and then perhaps even 3 months time you could come back to it and be like, hey, just wanted to have a check-in. How's the wedding planning going? Something to open up that conversation again. so that you can reopen that conversation and have an opportunity to sell as well. And this is what we will do. We will have a list of everybody that we've had conversations with, what stage were they at, what stage of the buying journey they were at. Some people will still be in their research phase. Some people might have only just found out about you and are not quite ready to book yet, or they want to go and talk to 6 other planners before they come back to you. But it's for whatever reason. And I did it the other day. Our VA, we had a conversation with the VA in our emails. I hadn't got back to him. We probably get 50 emails a day. So that's very quickly that contact can get lost. And he followed up with me, sent me another email. I was like, hey, Katie, just wanted to see where you were at with...
Just bumping this up the email.
And just wanted to see where you were at. Are you ready to go ahead? And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I've actually been meaning to get back to you. I just totally forgot. And that can be the same for your clients as well. So if you're somebody that is not following up, that is putting all the onus on your client to get in touch with you, you are missing a trick. And I know a story actually of somebody that followed up 9 times, was ghosted so many times in that 9 times. And on the 9th time they booked, and they spent a fortune with her.
Oh, wow.
And it just was that they'd missed each other. They were extremely busy. They were spending a lot on their wedding, and they'd just not been able to get hold of each other. And she continued to email. She really wanted the wedding, and 9 times. Now, 9 times might sound excessive to you, and it might not align with where you feel comfortable. We usually just look where we start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, like we get the ick a little bit, and we're like, okay, have we pushed this too hard? Because some people will just flat out ignore you, and we get that, don't we? People that are really interested, want to jump on a call with us, super interested, will
like, yes, please send me over some more information and the invoice.
Every freebie that we send them,
and
then they say yes on the phone, and then they ghost us, and then we're like, okay, how many times do we follow up with this person now? And 3-4 times is usually about right for us, isn't it? Sometimes we'll ring them again, or we'll send them a text message and say, oh yeah, sorry that we missed each other. Really looking forward to working with you. And I think that's another thing to know. It's okay to tell people that you really want to work with people. And that can be a nice kind of way to get that conversation opening back up again. But that is definitely something that all 6-figure entrepreneurs are doing.
And I think, just on a quick note on that, when you follow up, it doesn't have to fill you with dread and anxiety. It doesn't have to be in a salesy way. You can literally just be like, hey, like, I know you're busy, because you've listened to what they've said when you've spoken to them, so you've taken notes about them. Use that. I'm just following up to see how you are, and if you got my last email, done. That's all you need to do.
You can automate this for you. Something that we are definitely on the gravy train this year about, and something that I've always had an interest in, actually. I've always wanted to work with mentors. Because I did quite a lot of work with the Prince's Trust, and I would go and teach for them quite often, it would put me in touch with some good companies. So I remember being in touch with Deloitte, Apple, a really high up accounting firm, and they would all offer me bits of advice or offer to look over the business, and I was like, yes, as much as I can take. But I think even more so now, and I think a little bit more you as well, they are continuously learning. They don't look at it like, okay, I've honed my craft now, I'm comfortable where I'm at, because it can all change tomorrow. The scope of weddings change, trends change, equipment gets better, technology gets better, the way we market our businesses changes.
The couples, like, buying habits change.
Absolutely. And yes, there will be some things that are just stand the test of time. The psychology of buying, the buying principles of how we get people to say yes, pretty much haven't changed. Like, psychology is very slow to change in the human race, but the business landscape is always evolving, and the businesses that don't stay up to date and don't adapt are the ones that get left behind. So what we see is that the successful business owners are lifelong learners that are consistently seeking knowledge, seeking skills to improve their business. And they quite often work with a coach or coaches to either fill gaps in their business, or to talk about their business growth, or to help get them to that next level, whatever that is for them. Whether it's even about helping them find the vision for their business, or teaching them a roadmap or structuring that out, whether it's hiring a coach, buying a book, listening to a podcast, whatever it is, the most successful business owners never stop learning and never stop investing in their business. I absolutely always invested in new stock in the business, invested in new staff in the business, invested in growing on that level. I would speak to mentors. I would get as much free advice as I could get, right? I would claw the internet and get as much free advice as I could get. And to an extent, I would read a couple of books on marketing, on SEO, etc., to improve my skill set. But I wish that I had invested cash much earlier into my business in the things I wasn't so strong at. So and this is in my bridal business, this is in this business, I wish that I'd have invested money into a coach that was going to hold me accountable, that we could sit and look at the numbers each and every single week, that would help move me forward in the direction I needed to go inside of our business.
Okay, so the fifth thing that we see in these big 6-figure plus business owners of what they are doing is their mindset. The general character traits of these successful business owners is that they are disciplined, driven, focused, and they're really self-motivated. And I think if you want to be hitting those 6 figures in the future, you've got to be committed to becoming that person that you need to be in order to be successful. I would go as far as saying you even start giving those vibes up already and start walking around like you're already there.
Sometimes this is about it. And I think this is a saying that we say inside of our business is, what would a 6-figure business owner do when we are struggling with how to make a decision inside of our business? What would a 6-figure business do? What would a 7-figure business do in this scenario? And that helps us to find. But what we find is building a business and getting to a next level, whatever level that is, requires more than you are doing currently. It's just fact. And the more doesn't have to fall on your shoulders. You can outsource, you can delegate. And a lot of these businesses will outsource and will delegate. And we have a roadmap inside of our WedPro CEO program where we talk our coaching students through every single level from 0 to 6 figures of what to implement in each stage in order to reach that next stage, right? And yes, business sometimes requires long hours. It sometimes requires dedication. Sometimes it requires discipline. Sometimes it requires letting go of things, empowering your team or outsourcing something inside of the business so that you can home in on your skill and you can hone down and focus on what it is that you are really good at. But what we also see is that successful businesses aren't discouraged too long by setbacks. I listened to something that Stephen Bartlett said this week, and he was like, successful businesses are 5% strategy, 5% skill, 95% consistency.
I heard that.
And this is exactly what we were saying, that it's about getting up, showing up, putting in the work daily or weekly or whatever that looks like to you, putting in the mindset work, checking the banking, understanding that success doesn't come overnight, but actually it's about being consistent and putting one foot in front of the other and knowing that those small goals will ultimately help you reach that bigger goal.
If you're hungry for growth and you are hungry to learn, and you're willing to expand yourself in all those ways that you need to in order to be that version of yourself, you will be successful. Like, it will happen. But I will say that sometimes I do talk to people who are like this, who sit in that little bit of an excuse camp. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, but sometimes I can't do this because that you can do this. You've just got to expand yourself and maybe learn a new skill. It might take a little bit of effort and discipline, but I actually do believe, and I do say this to my kids all the time, like, you can literally do anything that you want to achieve. You can do it, you've just got to do the things that you need to do to get there.
And if you don't know how to do the things, go and speak to the people that do. Go and look at people who've been where you are, that have made 6-7 figures, or that have got to that next level, whatever that next level is for you. We spoke on our previous podcast about wanting to have a small and mighty business. So maybe it isn't about you reaching 6 figures and beyond. Maybe that's not what you want to do. But if you are somebody that is thinking, I want to get to that next level, or I want to take consistent bookings, I want to move away from my part-time job, I want to quit my full-time job and concentrate on my business fully, or you want to be attracting higher paid clients, higher weddings, more luxury into the market. Some changes need to happen. Like, you need to sit down and strategize and look at what changes need to happen. Do I need to have a conversation with the people I live with at home and say, we need to be pulling our weight here, guys, because I'm spending a lot of my time when I should be at work picking up your dirty clothes off the floor, or putting the washing in, or cooking the tea 5 nights a week. And some of the time I've got to work. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's saying to your kids, and this is something that my kids absolutely need to learn, is that when I've had a tough day at work, I pick them up from school, we fed them, we've took the dogs for a walk, we've played for a bit, whatever it is, and then it's bedtime. That is mummy's chill time. It's not the time. And mummy needs that chill time so that tomorrow I can get up, I can be present for my clients, I can be good at my job, and I can come at my job with 100% focus. And my kids are awful at leaving me alone.
Yeah, mine are. And it's just about setting those boundaries.
We're awesome people.
Well, that's it. Who wouldn't want to spend time with us? Who wouldn't want to? If you have that mindset of, I know I'm not this now, but I know I can become it, then you will and can completely transform yourself. If I look back at my life, Jesus, I couldn't even speak on the phone. I couldn't put a sentence together. And because I've worked on my personal growth over the years, and actually probably more so these last 2, 3, 4 years, have achieved more in my life than I would have ever achieved. And that is by having that drive and that motivation and putting one foot in front of the other, and quite often feeling uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the opposite way for me, really, like, I've had to learn to slow down, that everything doesn't need to happen right now, that rest is important, and burnout is atrocious, and I never want to be in that place again. And learning that slow is still a pace, and that's how I want my life. I want my life to be chilled and slow, and for us to experience nice things, etc. And that we're not in competition with anybody else. You're literally not in competition with anybody else. It's not about you looking and thinking, well, the wedding planner up the road is doing this. So what? You don't know the ins and outs of her bank account. You don't know the ins and outs of her business. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what her costs are. Her costs might be loads more than your costs, or her costs might be nothing. She might have a husband at home who pays for absolutely everything. It's so easy for us to compare to other people, and that needs to stop. And it's actually something that we don't see at the high level. We don't see people comparing. They stay in their own lane. They focus on what they need to focus on. They're only in competition with themselves. They track where they're at. They look at where they've come from. They know where they're heading. And exactly what you've just said. There's nothing special about that. Everybody can do it. It's just about refocusing and really knowing where you're headed and putting in the work. Now, that work doesn't need to be 24/7, but you do need to put in the work. Nobody gets successful doing nothing. It just doesn't happen.
It's not going to come to you. You've got to go and get it. So the last thing that I kind of notice all these 6-figure plus biz owners have got is that they aren't reactive to the things that are going on in their business. As in, it can be a huge roller coaster. One day, like, you're up there flying, and the next you're falling, and it can feel a little bit up and down all over the place all of the time. But no matter what these business owners are doing, even if they're not making any progress and things aren't going well, they're not reactive to it. They assess the situation, come up with a plan, they implement the plan, and then they move forward. This is something actually that I've had to learn to do, is that I always let my emotions like get in the way of like business, or have done, but I've had to go, okay, what would a 6-figure business owner do? What would a 6-figure business owner do if something's not going the way that we need it to? And that really helps me take that emotion away from it.
I think something that kind of helps with this as well is tracking the data. And I know that it's not good and it's not sexy, and it can stop these panic moments. So if you know inside your business that you are always quiet in March, you can plan for that. And then when it happens next March, or it starts to quieten down at the end of February, you're not in panic mode because you've already got a plan in place. Hang on, every March we're quiet. I've already planned for this. There's money in the bank that's going to keep me going. And I know that April, May is going to be absolutely booming. Or you can put in an offer, or you can do loads of networking or outreach or whatever you need to do in those months. So it's about having that foresight, but also looking back and collecting as much data as you possibly can in order to be able to make informed choices and informed decisions in your business. And we're not just reacting to things. So when we're reacting to things, quite often we'll be constantly changing our strategy. You'll be constantly changing the way you speak to your clients on social media, the way that you go after your clients. You'll just be trying this, trying that, trying the other. And I've been there, I've done it, I've made that mistake. And because these people don't ever see things through, they're just, I'll try this, that's not working, I'll try this, that's not working, I'll try this, that's not working. It's a horrible place to sit in because you're just constantly in panic mode.
Yeah.
You're constantly feeling like you're failing, you're constantly feeling like your business isn't running properly, or you're doing something wrong and you don't really know what it is. But actually, usually it's that you're not sticking with something, you're not being consistent, you're not sticking with it, and you're not seeing it through. And we definitely see the success in the people that see it through. So the people that join the programs, the people that do the power hours, that then go away and put in the work consistently. There's no panic because there's a plan in place, they're following it. If things aren't going as well as they could do, well, we can go and look at the data, we can go and track the data, we can go and see, we can have conversations with clients, and they're not scared to do that because, you know, there's a plan, we're following it. We've got a support network around us, and we're constantly reassessing that and looking at it and saying, we know that this month is going to be quiet, so what can we do to make sure it's not so quiet? What can we do in this quiet month so that we're refreshed and ready to take charge next month? And I think exactly what you said, being reactive, not only is it not good for your head, it's a really horrible place to be in, to be like scrambling for the next pound that's coming into your business. It's horrible, and I can absolutely 1,000,000% relate, especially as somebody that's run a business and started a business with staff, and as a single parent worrying about that next pound and where that's coming from. I can 100% relate, and it's not nice. But I think it's also about those people don't see things through. They don't stick with anything long enough for it to become a success. It's I'm going to buy that course. I'm going to read this, and I've got this next big idea. This is what's going to make me successful. And exactly what you said, reactive is not the way to get success.
No, it's not. And even when it comes down to things like your social media strategies and your other business strategies, they aren't going to be a huge success overnight. It's going to be a case of giving things time to pan out. When we did social media management, we wouldn't take anyone on less than 3 months, because by the 3-month mark, that's when you actually start seeing the longer term results. And that is what it is about. There's no point kind of creating a strategy, doing it for 3 weeks, and then go, nope, this is not working, on to the next. You've really got to grit your teeth, stick things out. And exactly what you said, like, it can be difficult when things aren't going the way that they should be in your business, but reach out to us, book a power hour with us, and get some support. Put your big girl and boy pants on and push through even the hard times.
That takes you back to that investing in the business.
Yeah.
Some of the time you just need somebody else's eyes over things. And it can be 100 quid. And I know people can be really against investing that money, but I think look at the ROI, look at the return on investment. If by spending that £100, your coach or coaches or whoever you go to for this advice are able to solve something in your business, whether that is increasing your visibility or spotting a gap in your sales process so that you're closing more clients, what does your average wedding spend? How much is your average wedding that you sell? What's the average package? Usually it'll be like £800-900 at least, depending on what you do and what spectrum you fall in. Some of the time it's 2,500 per wedding. £100 seems nothing if you're going to get £900, if you're going to get one booking from that, and that's unlikely. The likelihood is you're going to get more than one booking if you hired somebody to fix your sales process so that you know how to close better, or you are setting up an email list that is going to pay time and time again in the future, because you're always going to be able to retarget people that hit your website. You're going to be able to retarget people that come to your social media, that you meet at wedding fairs, whatever it is, whether it's your visibility on social media, whether you're not being seen on social media, and that's the way you're going to get more bookings. That £100, like, what is the average spend that people spend with you it's going to be more than £100, isn't it? And what is fixing that hole doing for your business? And I think that's the way to look at it. And we've invested big in our business this year, hasn't it? But when we do, guess what? We're accountable, we put in the work, we go away, we put in that plan, and we make the money back quite quickly, don't we? Because we're so geared up.
So motivated. I can't believe, I so wish we would have invested in coaches sooner, honestly. I love it.
We love it. Right. They're the things that we've noticed, we've spotted. Maybe you've spotted some other things. If you have, feel free to let us know. If you have loved this episode or love listening to our podcast and want us to do more, I'm sure we're going to do more anyway because we absolutely love it. But share with the WedPro Pop, share on your Instagram stories, tag us in at the Wedding Business Hub, wedding_business_hub, and let us know that you're listening. We'll reshare that, and it just helps other wedding pros find us as well. Maybe somebody that can't afford right now to go and invest in their business in a big way. There are definitely tips and strategies that are going to help them get to the point where they are able to inside of their business. So we would absolutely love it if you could do that. That'd be amazing. And yeah, hopefully we will hear from you really soon. If not, we might even see you at WedCon in November. We're so excited for that.
We aren't we? Have a lovely rest of your day/evening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.